Hey everybody, welcome to lesson 6 of prayer and fasting. Hopefully you're applying this to every part of your life because prayer is a lifestyle, so is fasting, and I hope you're really considering doing this. Remember, if you're brand new to God or the church and you really haven't done a lot of praying, or maybe you've done some praying but not a lot of fasting, I would encourage you, fasting is an important part of this, and I'll get into why in a very practical sense today. First of all, I thought we'd start off with a fun question while you're talking with one another and just having some fun and opening everyone up, making everyone feel comfortable. That is a huge part of community groups, is really affirming people as they speak. We can get really nervous when we speak in front of people, especially if we aren't real confident in what we're talking about, the subject matter. So when you first come to God and you don't know a lot about the scriptures, it can be very intimidating. So we want you to be comfortable, be relaxed. We're a loving church. Loving people is one of our primary values because we have 5 core values, which is to be prayerful, be loving, be humble, be generous, and be disciplined. So those are our 5 core values. So hopefully you're feeling that love and everything in there. But why don't you start off with this discussion today? Is there a food you do not believe you could ever get tired of? Talk about that as a group. I have a few that I believe. We'll talk about that when we get back. Welcome back. I can't wait to hear the stories about what you guys said was the one food you don't think you could ever get tired of. Keisha and I discussed this. Hers is steak. We'll see, because I've seen her get mad at steak, like she gets tired of it. When Keisha's eating and she's like sick of eating it, she like gets mad at it and she shoves it like she's angry. I'm like, ugh. And I just grab it and I eat mine and the rest of hers, and that's how I got this beautiful physique. But my favorite food, the thing I don't think I could ever get tired of, is crawfish etouffee. I could be full and I still want another bite of crawfish etouffee, particularly the Cajun Ninja recipe version of it. So anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I want to read quite a bit of scripture here and tell a story from the New Testament in Mark 9 and give you Jesus's answer to this, because some of us are in these battles, spiritual warfares. I think some of us have gotten so secular that we forget that some of the things we deal with are spirits, unclean spirits, spirits of depression. I believe some sicknesses can come from evil attacking us and us allowing us in our lives, particularly as unsaved people, is what I see a lot in scripture. But sometimes you're dealing with that with loved ones, and we have to decide whether we're dealing with an unclean spirit or just something very practical. You know, if we don't take care of our bodies, we're going to get sick. But sometimes it's spiritual. You do take care of yourself and something has come against you and you have to war against it. But there's an example here where a kid was demon possessed. So this is different. And look how we fight this kind of fight in the spirit world. This is Mark 9, verse 14. I'll be reading in the King James Version. Some of the other translations leave a part of this out because there's some debate over whether it was added by some of the scribes. I just read it as it is and believe it. There's no false doctrine in it, no false teaching, so we don't have to analyze it that closely. Here we go. Mark 9, verse 14. And when he came, talking about Jesus, to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning with them. Straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were amazed, and running to him saluted him. And he asked the scribes, what question you with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit, a mute spirit. He couldn't speak. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he's foaming at the mouth, and he's gnashing his teeth. And he spake with his disciples that they should cast him out, but they couldn't. Now this is interesting. And he answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. And he asked And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. And oftentimes it hath cast him into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus said unto them, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. It's all possible. And straightway the father of the child cried out, and I love this, and he said it with tears, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. And when Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried, rent him sore, and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch as many said, he's dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he came out of the house, the disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, this kind cometh forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. Now there's a lot here to unpack. One of it is that the disciples had been empowered by God, Jesus, to cast out demons. And so they did. And they had a lot of success with it until they got into a situation that they couldn't do it. And if you're going to live for God for a season, if you're going to minister in the church and help people come to Jesus and grow in God, and you're going to try to help your family grow in God, you're going to run into something like this where you don't know what to do because what worked in all the other situations isn't working in this one. And Jesus, first of all, rebuked the lack of faith. Now we know in the Father there was a lack of faith. He confessed it. He said, I have belief, but I also have unbelief. And so he was kind of caught between two worlds of belief and unbelief. And we see that ourselves in a lot. The other thing is how the evil spirit got in the child, teaching us the seriousness of what we let our kids watch, listen to, hang out with, because demons don't just want to harm adults. They want our children. I remember a quote from a guy who led MTV, which was at the time, I don't know much about it now, but at the time, it was just becoming a very filthy place that a lot of teenagers tended to frequent. They would go there and watch the videos of very scantily dressed people with foul words and foul ideas. And this is what he said. He said, we don't want people to watch MTV. We want to own your children. So we don't want your kids to watch it. We want to own them. Sounds like demonic thinking right there. Like, why do you want to own my children? It's a very scary thing. So I see that in the scripture as well. And then Jesus gives them the recipe to where we could operate with the power of Jesus in our lives. And it's by much prayer and fasting. And so I started off this thing like, what is something that you don't think you could ever get tired of? Eating. And let me warn you, what I've learned about eating healthily is that when you eat unhealthy foods consistently, your appetite is for those unhealthy foods, and the idea of steamed broccoli or vegetables or fruit or clean meats just sounds boring, bland, and not very satisfying. But when you fast, you get hungry. Everything smells good. You can smell chicken from a mile away. I just can't explain it. When you go without food, go on a 3-day fast. You can pass by Popeyes in your car with the windows rolled up and you'll be able to smell it. Why? Because your senses are coming alive because you've cut out all the other eating. Prayer and fasting does that. It cleans the appetites out, gets rid of all the distractions, all the bad habits we've been kind of leaning towards, because there's a natural gravitational pull towards our fleshly appetites. Just kind of want more and more and more. And when you just fast from all that, cut it out, put the plate aside, seek God, it cleans your spiritual palate. And you develop a hunger and a thirst for righteousness again. I'm encouraging you, plan your prayer and fasting on a regular basis. Live a lifestyle of it, and God will give you the breakthroughs against the evil that you can't seem to get out of your life. It's a powerful thing when you have faith and you pursue God with prayer and fasting. So I'm encouraging you to do that. I think a great way to end tonight's discussion is to talk about ways you feel evil has harmed your family or your life in some area, and what you believe. I want you to speak your faith. What you believe can happen if you begin to pray and fast and believe in God in those areas. So identify those two areas, have a great discussion, and I'll see you back for the next lesson.